This is day 3 of me vlogging on my journey to recover from disordered eating. And I don't have an extreme eating disorder. I don't have anorexia as far as I'm not underweight. I don't starve myself terribly. Sometimes I starve myself. I'm not bulimic in that I don't purge by vomiting, though I do purge with exercise and with diet. So, it's almost like I am an anorexic because I will go through periods where I starve myself. Not very often because I don't like it, but I have, and I do a very low calorie diet. And I have been binging. I don't sit down and eat the world, but I binge as far as overeat, and then I will purge with extreme dieting or extreme exercise, both usually, or fasting once in a while. So the thing is, if anyone were to look at my eating, they would think it was normal. I'm either trying to eat healthy or I'm trying to lose a few pounds or whatever, but it has just been a nonstop cycle of diets, going off the diet for a little bit, going back on a new diet, and it's always the new latest diet. And then in the last year, almost 2 years, I have tried to recover from disordered eating using diets. So it's kind of crazy. Like, for example, the keto diet. You eat as much as you want. Like, I was trying to find something where I would eat whatever I wanted, as much as I wanted, but I could still control or even lose weight. And the last one was the McDougall diet, which is basically similar to what some people like high carb Hannah have lost a lot of weight and have gotten healthy using, and that is a vegan, high starch, very low fat diet. Until I realized that meat, not so much, but dairy and eggs, I was feeling really deprived, not having. And if you're recovering from disordered eating, you don't want to head into anything that is deprivation, because that's the trigger, right? Basically, you deprive yourself, just to try to lose weight or to maintain your weight. And then that deprivation drives a binge, because you're going to have the two hand in hand. And so then you binge for a day, a week, a month, whatever, and then you need to purge it somehow. So you go back to the deprivation, or you go somewhere more extreme, like literal purging. So it was just a cycle of diet, getting overwhelmed at deprivation. I have maintained diets for years at a time by incorporating cheat days. So I think I did keto for close to a year, and then I would have, if I couldn't handle it, I would have a cheat day and I'd go right back to it. But the whole point is I was depriving myself of those foods that I wanted to have on my cheat day. And anything deprivation is going to ignite that survival mode in your body and your metabolism. So I've come to realize over time that the only healing for me, the only place that I could have real balance, is if I no longer deprived, if I switched my value system from I am more valuable thinner and just accept whatever my body wants to do. And without the deprivation, I don't have to then purge it anyway. So primarily I've been thinking about this in just with food, with consumption, right? So in this case, I have to look at my movement also. So Tabitha Farrar has been talking about compulsive movement. And I always thought that exercise, unless it's excessive, and so excessive is relative, right? Unless it's excessive, it is healthy, right? It's always healthy. So, the problem with that is what I have realized through listening to Tabitha and through examining exercise in my life is that it supports the mentality of binging and purging, or deprivation, then binging, then purging, or exercise as a purge for eating too much or eating something you shouldn't, or even in my case, it's been a subtle purge for anything I eat, meaning it's something I feel I have to do daily. Now, Tabitha goes into how just biologically that compulsive movement can contribute to your body itself being in what she calls a migratory mode or system, where in the past, when we were just base animals, we would, if we ran out of food, if we were deprived, we would then migrate to another location. So in our bodies, if we sense deprivation, we want to move, right? It's like it's linked. And it's really kind of interesting because those of us who have anorexic tendencies or deprivation tendencies tend to move a lot. And I realized in examining this for myself and questioning whether exercise was the healthiest thing for me right now, realized that it has been so many years that I have assumed that any movement, an extra trip up and down the stairs, anything. I tend to pace, like if I'm on the phone or if I'm not doing anything, I move. And because I always have felt like it was a few more calories burned, a little bit more muscle built, anything to contribute and detract from overeating or eating something I shouldn't, or even just that baseline calorie count for the day. I just adopted it. And it was born innocently, right? I wanted to get healthier. I wanted to have more energy, and I was dealing with some depression, and regular exercise really pulled me out of that. But it's become a compulsive habit for me. And it seems that it might be triggering both my body to stay in a deprivation state. So my body perceives that it's starving, it's not getting enough calories. It begins to want to move more because it thinks it needs to migrate to a different location on the globe for better food, for more food. And then as I continue to move day to day to day to day to day and feel mentally driven to move for disordered reasons, then I just support the system in my body that is in this deprivation state. And the whole point of this is to get out of that state, to spark my metabolism. I was doing a pretty heavy dumbbell workout for a couple years, and I was fine doing that every other day because it was really hard on my joints. It was heavy. It was a lot, and I was fine skipping days. I switched to yoga because I was having a hard time with the weights affecting my body and making me more sore, more stiff, and I could easily tweak something. So I was finding myself where I would throw out my shoulder or my back or something with the weights, and it just really wasn't conducive to feeling good on a daily basis for me, though I did really love the muscular effects of it. So I switched to yoga, and I kind of got addicted to it in that it was easy, it felt good, but as always, I just increased the amount of yoga I was doing, and I did it every day. So for example, it's been 4 months, I have not skipped one day of yoga. And I do about 45 minutes of it, and I try to incorporate something that is strength building, what they call power yoga. Basically, I just got sucked into another mode of excessive exercise. And here I am, and part of me is really attached to it, and part of me realizes that it's contributing to the fact that I feel like I need to exercise. And how does that figure in with trying to take any restriction from food? So I'm questioning it, and I really love the yoga. It makes me feel so good, so stretched out. I really love the fact that I'm, I have firmer muscles all over my body. It's very balanced. I have this great core, and granted, there's a layer of fat over all of it, and you can't really see, but it makes me feel stronger and more firm and all that stuff. But what I'm afraid of is that I'm going to go and I'm going to start eating unrestrictedly. And I say start because I really am having a hard time diving in. And I am going to not recover because I'm still compulsively moving and compulsively exercising. I'm really concerned about that. I wish I had people who followed these videos right now because I would love to get some opinions on that. Especially those of you who know Tabitha Farrar's work. And I just feel like, oh my gosh, what happens when I stop moving, But I kind of feel like I need to. Because if I don't, my mind is just going to think that I'm still in these migratory patterns and that there's deprivation around. And the reason I'm moving is because I need to find a better food source. And then my body's going to think it's in starvation mode or whatever, whether or not that's a legitimate term. I really think there's something to going a period of time where you do not do anything that is going to spark that internal instinct. Because I've spent 35 years contributing to that sense of deprivation, and that anything outside of deprivation is actually a bad thing, is me doing something harmful to my body. And to be honest, I feel like not exercising is doing something harmful to my body. I logically know that's not the case. But habitually, and the part of my brain that I need to rewire believes that's the case. And then on top of all that, you question, look, I'm overweight, not underweight. Do I really have a right to sit and do nothing and feed my body? I know that I want out of this disordered lifestyle, and there's so many people that would think what I'm saying is crazy unless they've spent years in that situation. And it really is kicked off by probably doing one or more diets in your life, and some people haven't and they don't get it. Or some people just have the mindset where they never took it too seriously, or they did it, they didn't carve those neural pathways so deep that it was hard to get out of. And the thing is, I'm recognizing that you can. I'm recognizing how to do it, and I need to just do the work. I think about today with the eating. I could have gotten up and started feeding myself immediately. And it's 2:30 p.m. and all I've had is coffee because I'm afraid. And I've been allowing more. I actually had probably twice as many calories yesterday as I would have. I let myself drink wine, which I always think of as such a calorie bomb, and have some desserts and have some treats. And I'm finding myself just habitually, not intentionally restricting, but not wanting to kick that off today. So I gotta put myself in gear, and I just have to say, whatever the fallout is worth it. And let's keep going with this, guys. And I'll keep you updated. Thanks.